Okay, so now let's talk about picture questions. Okay, picture questions. So this question was also in the proportion quiz. Okay, proportion quiz. So you are given two triangles. So this is the smaller one, and this is the bigger one. Okay, so they have exactly the shape. They are both right triangles, but they have different sides. Okay, they have different sides. So now the numbers are not very clear, so I'm going to write it again. So this is 55, and the bottom is 8 here. And this is 11, and that is 7. Okay, that is 7. Okay, sorry. So here it looks like 11 and 7. And this is not 8, this is x. Okay, this is x. And then we want to find the x here. Okay, we want to find the x here. Okay, so smaller triangle is 11 and 7. The larger one, the bigger one is 55 and x. So we want to find x. Okay, we want to find x. So our method is the proportion. Okay, proportion. So we look at the hypotenuse over the bottom side. Okay, so the hypotenuse over the bottom side. Hypotenuse for the larger one is 55, bottom is x. For the smaller one, hypotenuse is 11, bottom is 7. Okay, so then we build a proportion. So now cross multiply. 11 times x is 7 times 55. And then divide by 11, we got the answer. Okay, so let's look at the calculation. 7 times 55 divided by 11. So we cancel 11 first. 55 divided by 11, 5. 7 times 5, x is 35. Okay, yeah. So this is the similar triangles questions. Okay, two triangles are similar. So let's look at one more example. So let's label these sides again. It's not very big, very clear. So here is 6, here is x, here is 2, here is 6. So we want to find the x. Okay, we want to find the x. So again, we have a smaller one and a bigger one, right? Okay, larger triangle and smaller triangle. So now we cannot use hypotenuse. We have to use the right side and bottom side to make the proportion. Okay, so we use right side of the triangle over the bottom side of the triangle for bigger and smaller. Okay, so if you look at bigger triangle, so what's the right side over bottom side? 6 over x. Okay, so this is the right side. That's the bottom side of the bigger one. Okay, of the bigger triangle. So smaller one, this is the right, 2 is the right, and 6 is the bottom. Okay, so it's 2 over 6 for smaller triangle. Right over bottom. Okay, yeah. Then we have a proportion, so cross multiply, solve this. You got 2 times x is 6 times 6. So x is 6 times 6 divided by 2. So x is 18. Okay, x is 18. So that's the proportion method. Without using proportion, you can also solve this question. You see, if you compare the right side. So these two triangles, smaller triangle is just triple the larger triangle, just triple the smaller triangle. Here is 6, here is 2, just triple it. 2 times 3, you got 6. So x, triple 6, you will get x. Triple the bottom side, you got x. So 6 times 8, 6 times 3 is also 18. Okay, it's also 18. Okay, so the bigger triangle is 3 times of the smaller triangle. You can also solve the question. You don't have to build a proportion. If you cannot solve it this way, you build a proportion, cross multiply, solve it. Okay, so that's the first topic. You have two given triangles. Okay, 2 given triangles. So now next question, next topic. Okay, so this is the next question is a new topic. So you're given some shape like this, the blue picture. Okay, the blue picture is like an L, right? It's like an L shape. So we want to find the area of the shape and the perimeter of the shape. Okay, perimeter of the shape. So let's first draw the shape on the block paper. Okay, on the block paper. So let's say we start from here, this point. Okay, so first we look at the bottom. Bottom is 8. So we go 8 blocks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the bottom is 8. And then we turn up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we turn up 4. And then go left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the top is 5. Go down 2. 1, 2. So here is 2. So let's put 2 outside. And then we have to go left and then go back to the initial point. So we turn left and then go back to the initial point. So the number for these two blue sides are not given. But you know we have to finish the L shape, finish the picture like this. Okay? Yeah. So now from the picture you see this vertical side is 2. We go down 2 and then we go left 3 more. Okay, 3 more. So now what's the area? Area by definition is all the unit squares inside the picture. Okay, inside picture. So these are the area. So all these small squares inside. So let me change the color and then count them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So there are 26 small squares inside, so area is 26. Okay, so area by definition is how many squares inside the picture. Okay, inside picture. So we draw this whole picture on the block paper to make it easier to count, right? To count. So now what's the perimeter? Okay, perimeter is the boundary length. Okay, so when you traveled along the boundary, how long did you travel? Okay, so we add all these boundary numbers. Then you get the perimeter. That's one way. Another way is you count how long you traveled by drawing bubbles. Okay, so I'm going to draw bubbles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then turn up, right? 9, 10, 11, 12. And go back, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Go down, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So you traveled, you got 24. Okay, you draw some bubbles around the boundary. The total number of bubbles is the perimeter. So perimeter, we have 2 methods. Either you add all these numbers, so including the given 4 numbers, 8, the bottom 4 on the right, 5 on the top, and then go down 2. Plus the 2 blue numbers that we found by drawing the picture, 2 and 3. Okay, so these 2 numbers are not given. When you try to find the perimeter, you have to add them all. Okay, then you got 24, the same answer. Okay, the same answer. So let's look at one more example. Okay, so it's almost the same shape but different numbers, right? We are given a 6 here, a 4 here, top is 4, and then go down 2. So let's draw the picture first. So start from where? I always start from this point to draw the picture. Okay, yeah. You can start from anywhere, okay? Start from anywhere, but you have to follow this way if you start from there because you don't know how high you should go. You have to turn right first. 6, right? So go 6 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn back 4 on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go down 2. 1, 2. Okay, and again you have to finish the picture, right? So these 2 numbers are not given, but to finish the L shape, we have to go left 2 and then go down 2. So go left 2, go down 2. Okay, so I use blue colors because they're not given. Okay, they're not given. So now again, the areas are the small squares inside, right? So area is the unit squares inside. Let's count how many squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, 20. So area is 20. So you can use some formulas, okay, area of triangles, area of rectangles to find the area of the cell shape. But the easiest way is counting, okay, counting. And then the perimeter. Perimeter is easier to add them all. So we got 4 red numbers, 6, 4, 4, 2, and then 2 blue numbers that we found by drawing the picture. 2 and 2. Okay? Yeah. So now what's the perimeter? You add them all. So this is 20. Okay, 20. So you also can use my old method, right? Bubble on the boundary. You jump from here, draw bubbles, go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it's also 20. Okay? Yeah. So perimeter means the boundary length. Okay, so when you go around, the total you traveled is perimeter. So area is inside. Okay, so how many squares inside? That's the area. Okay, that's the area. So next one. Okay, so this is the right triangle questions. Okay, so first the keyword is right triangle. Okay, so we can draw a right triangle first. And then we label these 3 sides, A, B, and C. Okay, so what's A and B? A and B are the legs. So the order doesn't matter. Okay, so we use A for the bottom leg, and then B is the right leg. Okay, so A is the bottom, B is the right side of the right triangle. Okay, and the C is the hypotenuse. Okay, so let's change the color of C. C is very important. So what's hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is opposite to the right angle. Okay, so if you look at the screen or paper, C is the diagonal side. Okay, yeah, so we have 2 ways to draw a right triangle. So if you look at the paper, you can draw C side, this diagonal, or you can use the other diagonal for the C side. Okay, so boundaries, the red part are the legs of right triangle, and then the blue one or the purple one will be the C side. Okay, yeah, so that's how to find hypotenuse. Okay, hypotenuse. So for this particular question, we know A is 15, so this is 15. B is 25, so this is 25. We want to find, C is 25. C is 25, so hypotenuse is 25. We want to find B. Okay, so step 1, you draw the picture. Draw the right triangle. Okay, you have ABC labeled on this picture. Okay, on this picture. So step 2 is a theorem. Step 2 is the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared is C squared. Okay, and then we substitute, right? Replace. So A is 15. We got 15 squared plus B is not given. We want to find B. Okay, we want to find B. And C is 25 squared. So 15 squared, 225 plus B squared. So it's 625 is 25 squared. Okay, so be careful. So it's 25 squared. It's not 25 times 25. It's not 25 times 2. 25 squared is 25 times 25. 15 squared is 15 times 15. Okay, so square means the number times itself. So now subtraction. You move this, you got B squared is 625 minus 225. So B squared is 400. What is B? Take square root. B is 20. So the step 3, the last step, take square root. Okay, take square root. So let's look at another one. Okay, another example. Okay, so now we draw the same picture. Okay, we draw the same picture. So label A here, B there, and C here. So C is always hypotenuse, okay? Yeah. And then we look at the numbers. get numbers. So A is 9 this time, and then C is 15. We still want to find B. Okay, my next example, I will give you A and B. We try to find C. Okay, so again, hypotenuse is the most important side, is diagonal side, or is the opposite of the right angle. Okay, so this is the right angle, 90 degree, if you know it. Okay, if you know it. So this is step 1, draw the picture and the label ABC. Draw the right triangle. Okay, yeah, step 2 is the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared is C squared. You have to remember this theorem, okay? You have to remember this theorem. And then now we replace A by 9, so 9 squared. Okay, A is 9. So B is the one we want, C is 15. So it's 15 squared. 9 times 9, 81, plus B squared is 225. Okay, 225. So now B squared is, so you move 81 to that side. You got 225 minus 81. So B squared is 144. So the last step, take square root. Take square root of the number we found, okay? So B is square root of 144, which is 12. Okay, so this side is 12. Okay, this side is 12. Okay, so now let's look at the last question. Okay, the last question. So I'm going to just draw the picture. Okay, draw a picture. So let's say A is 3, B is 4, and then we want to find C. Okay, we want to find C. Okay, yeah. So if this is the picture, so you already draw the picture. It's given. Okay, there's the picture. So step 1 is trivial. Step 2 is the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared is C squared. So what is A? A is 3, so we got 3 squared. What is B? B is 4 squared. Is C squared. Okay, so this time is different. You know A and B. We want to find the C, the hypotenuse. Okay, C is the one opposite to right angle. So we have 9 plus 16 is C squared. Okay, so they're on the same side, you add them. Okay, so the previous 2 examples, you know A and C, they are on different sides, so there's a subtraction. Okay, there's a subtraction. Here we have addition. So C squared is 25. Step 3, take square root. Right, square root of 25 is C. So what's square root of 25? 5. Okay, 5. Okay, so now if you're not familiar with square root, so let's talk about square root a little bit. You just remember the root. Right, remember. So what square root means? So if here is the area is 25, what's square root? Square root is the number on the boundary. Okay, 5 on the boundary is the square root of 25. Okay, so if the area is 36, what's the boundary? 6 and 6. Okay, so if this is 16, what's the boundary? 4 and 4. 4 times 4, 4 squared is 16. Okay, so that's the idea, the understanding of square root. Is the number times itself. Okay, that's the square. So the best way, you just remember the square roots, right? The square root of 0 is 0. 1 is 1. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 25. Square root of 36. So just remember the list if you can. Okay? Yeah, so the corresponding square. So 0 is 0 squared. 1 is 1 squared. 4 is 2 squared. 9 is 3 squared. 16 is 4 squared. And the 25 is 5 squared. 36 is 6 squared. 49 is 7 squared. So square root and squares are inverse of each other, right? Yeah. You square 7, you got 49. You take square root of 49, you got 7. Okay, so they are equivalent. Okay, they are equivalent. Okay, and you also need to know this is 64 is 8. Square root of 81 is 9, and then square root of 100 is 10, and continue. Okay, continue. Just remember the list of square roots for the Pythagorean theorem question. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so now you can try the last quiz and try the whole draft final online.